Netflix's Emily in Paris Season 2 was released on December 22, and it ended with a cliffhanger that could undermine the show's very premise, as it's unknown whether Emily will actually remain in Paris. Similarly to Season 1, Emily in Paris Season 2 stirred the pot for its stereotypical depictions of life in Europe and its brand of entertainment that critics defined as ambient television, but it also slightly raised the bar, putting Emily, Lily Collins, on the spot for things Season 1 ignored, like her reluctance to learn French. It also felt less like a glamorous catalogue of fancy events and more like an exploration of Emily's reasons for her stay in France, which fittingly culminated in the burning question at the end of Emily in Paris Season 2. Emily in Paris Season 2 already started with Emily's mistakes catching up to her, as she painstakingly tried to avoid being alone with Gabriel, Lucas Bravo, or his ex-girlfriend Camille Razet, after hooking up with him. When everything was out in the open, it also influenced her career, as Emily almost lost Camille's family as a client. Emily seemed to have gotten some respite only thanks to her French classes that led her to meet Alfie, Lucien Laviscount. But even that became tainted when she seemingly decided to stay in Paris to follow Sylvie, Philippine Leroy-Beaulieu, and the rest of Sauvoir's team to their new company, and for Gabriel, to whom she almost confessed her feelings before realizing he had gotten back with Camille. Although it might straightforwardly seem that Emily's decision was already made on her future in Paris, that may not be the case. Gabriel choosing to get back with Camille might push Emily back to her good soldier setting, as Madeleine, Kate Walsh, semi-affectionately called it. That could set Emily to her position in the Gilbert Group to restructure Sauvoir, to get her promotion back in Chicago, which might lead her out of Paris sooner than expected. Camille and Gabriel making their relationship work might not necessarily send Emily across the Atlantic. In the 2 seasons of Emily in Paris, Emily proved multiple times how much she cared about doing her job correctly, to the best of her capabilities, and more. Madeleine's arrival to Paris and her steadfastly American approach to restructuring the company after the Sauvoir team left, which even resulted in Emily being demoted to admin duties, might push Emily out of the Gilbert Group. Despite sharing Madeleine's approach when starting at Sauvoir, Season 2's Emily has learned to appreciate Sylvie and the team's slower attitude to business, along with the way they take care of their clients. Having to readjust to a way of working that would not use her as the asset she is to the company might just be the thing that pushes her to Sylvie's new marketing firm, making her stay in Paris permanent. Camille and Gabriel's rekindling their relationship might also threaten Emily's stay in Paris. Although that never stopped her Parisian adventure in the past, Season 2's Emily tried to listen to her needs and wishes more, contrarily to her usual way of choosing other people's well-being over her own. Even if her inability to finally confess her feelings to Gabriel and Camille's betrayal of their pact not to pursue Gabriel romantically might make her leave Paris, that would only be temporary. After all, Emily outgrew the person she was when she left Chicago, and she became more attuned to the French customs and traditions. In the end, the answer to Emily in Paris Season 2's cliffhanger question may very well be in the show's title. Its premise is indeed that of the life of an American expat abroad, so, even if she left, Emily would have to move back to Paris eventually. Nevertheless, what started as an adventure with no strings attached might become something stabler if she joined Sylvie. Her future won't resemble the one she planned, but might give her joy nonetheless. More importantly, it would shift Emily in Paris' focus, and it could make Emily finally grow into a character who pursues what she wants, no matter what conflict she'd have to face.